Hey guys, it's Dennis here from AMC doing another voiceover for you. Today we've got the top 4 match between Fan and Tom from the Plainville, Massachusetts Store Championship at Battlegrounds. I did the one for the finals last night, and I had so much fun, I figured why not come back and do another one right now.
I'm happy to be at this table again. Like, I'm cool.
And frankly, I just got my ass kicked in the OCTGN tournament in round 4 by Brian. So I figured what better way to get that taste out of my mouth than participate in a game that I can't lose.
I'm gonna want you.
So Tom is playing Targ Lion.
I don't like that.
He opts for a mulligan. Fan says keep, to which Tom replies with disgust, and you really can't blame him. You never like to see your opponent not take a mulligan. Means they're happy with what they've got.
Is that just some custom we do not so thing, or was that an official?
Oh, that's no, that's from
Tom geeking out over Fan's house card here. He's newer to Throne, so not too familiar with all the different swag and table dressing that people use.
Glad to be meeting here. Like, this is a good spot to play a game.
So I should say we have Tom Melucci, Star Wars World Champion, as you can see by his playmat on the left. Fan Dean from Boston, Massachusetts on the right, playing Greyjoy Fealty.
Mulligan.
That's where all your good cards were.
Good.
And those with keen ears can hear Chris Lavin at the next table getting picked up by the mic.
Not what I want to see, obviously. Seems good. We'll do her and that.
Oh, wow. Okay. So Tom has a very good start here.
Indeed.
4 cards always better than 3 for setup, but honestly, Greyjoy Fealty is a very expensive deck. You're pretty happy with 3. You have to have a really, really bad 3 in order to mulligan out of 3, I think, in Greyjoy Fealty, because honestly, the odds are you can mulligan out of 3 and into 1, 2 or 1. It's not uncommon. There's a lot of very expensive cards, a lot of events, stuff that you just can't set up or don't want to set up. There's not a lot of one-cost characters in the Greyjoy Fealty arena. So unless you get a little bird, you're probably going to get 3 or 4 cards. I think it's important to note here
Let's get the timer started.
that Tom already has a Brothel Madam out, which is going to put pressure on Fan. Now he now has to save a gold every turn. And Greyjoy Fealty is very expensive to play as it is. And if he needs to save $1 to make that military challenge every round, it's going to choke him even further. So look for Fan to get a slow start here and play as much economy as he can early. High gold plots, things of that nature. I expect Noble Cause out of Fan
Noble
here.
Cause.
Me too.
Mine's different.
Sure enough, they both flip Noble
Heads
Cause.
or Krakens?
All right,
2
X.
different alternate arts,
Your pick.
so it's hard to see in the glare, but those are
What
both
do I
Noble
wanna
Cause.
do? I'll
Tom wins the flip.
Me. That's just off.
I'll go second.
Okay.
All right, I think that's smart. He maybe has a crown of gold in his hand. He wants to see what Than's going to marshal. Than's going to have $8 worth of credit to play with. I also want to point out that during this commentary, I have not watched this match ahead of time. I've encoded about 22 games over the last week. So even though I've seen this, I haven't really watched it.
You'll discard.
So everything you hear from me is going to be a legit first-time reaction.
6, 7. You're on. Dupe.
All right, so now we see why Than opted to keep it. He's got Euron and a dupe out on turn 1. That is outstanding. I took Euron out of my Fealty deck because, frankly, I could very rarely afford to pay for it, and there was other cards that I wanted to play more.
1, 2.
Okay.
Shipwright.
So to get a Shipwright and Euron out on turn 1
Sure.
and still have 2 gold
Count
left
6.
over, that's pretty darn amazing. He's going to be able to control Tom's King's Roads with the Shipwright. Though, to be honest, if Tom plays a Shipwright, Than would be smart to not control it. Or excuse me, if Tom plays a King's Road.
You have the floor sport?
See, I think that's actually a mistake by Than right here. Sure, that would allow Tom to jump out. But Than has Euron on the table, and he would be guaranteed to be pulling that King's Road out of Tom's discard pile immediately. So, early mistake there by Than, in my opinion.
Alright.
I'm going to trigger this.
Yep. Okay.
Fan smartly remembered to save a gold for the brothel madam. Tom does not forget to trigger her. Clean play from Tom so far.
Trigger the brothel.
I expect Than to at least make a military challenge here, especially that he's paid. He wants to put pressure on Tom, make him either eat a claim or use an event to deal with it to get it out of his hand. So expect Than to make a military challenge that he knows he can win. He's going to attack with enough to push it through.
Entry for 1.
Please also note that this is the top 4, so this is a pressure match for these guys. So I think we can be a little bit forgiving on mistakes that they might make because they've been playing now 5 or 6 hours. So they're fatigued as well as being in a high pressure situation. So Than executes the military challenge as we expected, stealthing Jorah. So he's guaranteed to win without any tricks from Tom.
I'll defend for 8.
Military for 10. What they tell me.
Yep, so you get the...
I get the... I didn't know if it was just offense.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay, I guess I miscalculated the math. I thought Than would be able to win that, even with the blocking. But Tom opts to fully defend, even though he would have had to melt with Jaime.
And he goes dead.
I think that's a smart choice, knowing that he could have defended it. You don't want to give Greyjoy Fealty an early lead, because once they get board position, it's very difficult to get it back.
That's it for me for challenges.
Okay.
See, if Than had let that King's Road get used, he would have been able to pull it with Euron very easily, I might add. Instead, he sort of wasted his challenges phase there, in my opinion. So I don't know, maybe Than just didn't see somebody and thought that that was guaranteed to win. Otherwise, I don't understand why he would make the challenge if he didn't think he could win it. Tom stands the dragon there, making a military challenge that he knows he can win.
Yep. Any actions?
Kill shipwright.
Kills the shipwright, which, unfortunate for him, it's the right choice, but it's tough. But again, I think that shipwright was a little bit useless right now because he should be letting Tom use that King's Road so he can steal it with Euron. That is what you want when you play Euron. Yes, there's other good locations, but you want the King's Road so that you can do your burst economy and jump out ahead. So that was a strong turn for Tom. I think he capitalized on a couple of mistakes by Than. He's got 4 power already, which, while not insurmountable, is not going to make Than happy right now.
Because he came back to my hand.
Looks like Tom's discarding for reserve. You never like to discard cards, but sometimes you got to do it. Again, I'm looking for Than to throw a high-value plot here. He needs to be able to push through a challenge. Maybe calling the banners. Maybe jousting contest, steal some of that power. Or whatever the Clash of Kings, whatever the plot is. It's a 391, I believe. Lets you steal a power after you win a power challenge. I'm not familiar with Than's deck specifically, so I'm not sure what else he's running. I think it's too early to play to be a Kraken.
Good. Alan?
Alright, summons your pick for initiative.
Okay, so he's digging for somebody, probably Balon.
You can do your summons.
Than throwing summons.
Yep.
Tom looks like it's hard to see from the glare, but because he drew 3, we're assuming it's counting coppers. He must also be digging. It's I'm very surprised to see Tom throw that plot now and eat 2 gold this early in the game when board position matters so much. So, I mean, he does have the King's Road and a Rose Road, so he's going to have six resources, essentially, barring anything else that he has in his hand. I was trying to look at Tom's hand there, and I didn't see who Than pulled with summons, but I'm assuming it was Balon, if he was in there. Maybe an Asher. Those are generally who you're looking for out of Greyjoy Fealty if you already have Euron on the board. And He's going to have the money to play her. If it was
Did I do that
Asher.
already? No.
You were at 6.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just drew 2.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm expecting to see Than drop as many bodies
And I
as he
said I
can.
go first, so I count 3.
Yep.
Well, I would be surprised if Tom does not drop initial economy here. Because I think it's a very difficult decision to throw a 2 gold plot on turn 2 in this game, unless you have another resource in your hand, like another King's Road. Then that would make sense to me. Otherwise, I think this might have been a mistake. Because now he's sitting with 11 cards in his hand. And, I mean, I think the reserve on that plot is 10, so it's not that huge a deal. But unless he can get through a bunch of those cards this turn, he's going to have a little bit of a reserve problem starting next turn.
Use it to play this.
Okay, so he did have another resource. I would have preferred to see him with another King's Road playing a 2 gold plot this early.
Use this.
But that's better than nothing.
Play that. $1, I pass to you.
Sad times.
Tom does get the King's Road off, so interestingly enough, Euron is very happy to see that. There's nothing else in Tom's discard pile.
Play another sea tower.
Yep.
All right, Than's getting his economy going now. Let's see if he goes for a Balon or an Asha. Tom does have a pretty strong board presence, so Than cannot be feeling good right now. I think Than needs to play defensively. He's got Balon out. Okay. That's what he wants to see.
I'm gonna trigger this.
He's going to play a little defensively here. Looks like he made a mistake in not using his fealty for Balon, which left him without the gold for Brothel Madam, so another mistake by Than. But if he can play defensively and get through this turn and play a 2-claim plot next turn, I think he can turn things around. Greyjoy Fealty's pretty comfortable with 3 or 4 characters on board because they'll have the saves in their hand. They've got dupes, and they're generally not going to lose a military challenge anyways. But as long as you've got Balon on the board, you generally don't need too many characters to get the challenges through that matter to you. So
I missed it too, but I don't play fealty.
Yeah.
it sounds like they're discussing Than's mistake to forget to trigger Fealty. Again, they've been playing for 6 or 7 hours at this point. In a high-pressure match, those mistakes are going to happen, even at this level of play. I expect Tom to be making more mistakes, to be honest with you, in this game, because he is not only fatigued and in a high-pressure match, he's also new to Thrones.
For 3.
I'm in a unique perspective here because I did play Tom in the finals of the Boston Store Championship at Pandemonium about a month ago. So he's not completely unfamiliar to this situation, but I know he loves to compete, and I know he loves these games.
As long as you're not canceling it.
So I would not be surprised if he's taking this very, very seriously, because I know that he wants it. And it looks like he's having a hard time making a decision here.
Alright, I'm gonna just 16 military.
Okay, so he's attacking for 16
I
military.
think that there's a great deal I
He
can
will
do
get
about
discarded at the
that.
end.
To me, I feel like he's telegraphing something. He only has 1 gold left, so it can't be put to the sword, but why would he attack so much?
So
You have 1 gold.
claim and renown, I guess. That's,
I mean, granted, he's forcing Than to kill a pretty beefy character, so he's gaining something. He's
I will
gonna,
then send 7 intrigue.
and that he's gonna get the intrigue challenge through. Okay. So I thought he was telegraphing something crazy, but looking at Than's board again, that wasn't that bad of a decision, because he does put additional pressure on Than,
Tears.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought.
and he tears on Balon. That is devastating to Than. Absolutely devastating.
Challenge is to you.
All right. Well,
This is 6, right?
Than is crying a little inside right now.
On a post.
intrigue.
So, Lord of the Crossing Tower.
All right.
And claim.
Alright, what do you have for locations?
Than gonna get the King's Road back with Euron.
I'll
So
draw
not a
that.
total,
thank
I have a King's Road
not a
and
total
Russian.
failure here. If
I'll take the King's Road.
if Than built his plot deck correctly, he can come back from this.
Yep.
While Tom does have the superior board position right now, character for character, Than is better, even if Balon dies.
Unopposed,
So
claim,
if Than
down,
Yep.
next turn
that's
can,
be it for me.
Okay.
let me think. I don't think Than wants to wildfire here yet.
No worries at all. Yeah. You're good.
If he can do a building orders and get a King's Road of his own, or get a Great Kraken, and then use Tom's King's Road to get back into this game, maybe drop a Counting Coppers, look for something that will let him dig into his deck, force Tom to play defensively, or make a decision next turn whether to overextend his board
6.
or keep the cards in his hand,
Marched.
and then wildfire.
I'll go first. Right?
I think this is a
I'm
mistake
in.
by
I'm
Than
fine,
here
I'm
again.
fine.
I'll go first.
It's very, very early to throw
I'll
wildfire,
be first player.
in my opinion, in a game of this magnitude.
Doesn't matter much one way or
Now,
the other.
this is turn 3, so Tom now knows he has 4 turns to not fear a reset.
Wildfire is kill.
Yep.
Defend for 4.
So yes, Than is evening the board state temporarily, but he's still guaranteed when he throws that plot. He knows when he throws that plot that best case scenario, he's walking out of there still down a character going into the marshalling phase. Yes, he does have a lot of economy. I can't see how many cards he has in his hand, but I think he should have stalled one more turn and thrown wildfire next turn.
He will die. He will get.
Because if you think about it, he's not going to fall that much further behind this turn than he already is.
Oh yeah.
And instead, he's forcing Tom to decide to either overextend into an oncoming wildfire or hold the cards back and potentially have to deal with reserve and discard them.
Tears count.
By throwing wildfire here, Than has given Tom an easy rest of the game.
Yeah.
Alright, so regular draw.
And
So
you're
yes.
going first.
Yes.
Than is looking better, given the exact situation, but I believe it was a mistake to do that. I think he would have been better off waiting for it one
Last
turn.
time.
Power challenge for 4.
Once your opponent knows your reset is gone,
Alright.
I don't remember off the top of my head if you can play 2 wildfires or not, but generally at this level of play,
King's Road.
the players are not wasting 2 very precious plot slots on double wildfire if that's legal.
And
And now Tom knows for 4 turns he can do essentially whatever he wants and not have to worry about any retribution. So Than drops an Asha and something else that I can't see because of the glare. It's like maybe a reducer
F5.
or a drowned prophet, drowned crewman.
And 1 for a King's Road.
King's Road for Tom. Looks like he's got the opportunity to do something.
Still minus will. I'll spend 3 for the plaza.
Alright, looks like Tom is deciding to play the long game. He's going to take a risk to not play characters and play Plaza in order to put extra pressure on Than. I think that's a little bit maybe Tom's first mistake here.
That's fine. No, I'm just letting you know I'm thinking.
Looking at the board, Plaza is only valuable if you can win a power challenge, and he's not in a position to win a power challenge right now. Meaning he just invested 3 gold in a card that he cannot use, and you can't do that in a game like this. Not against Greyjoy Fealty, not against a player like Than.
I'm going to go first.
Unopposed.
trigger Sandasha.
Yep.
Than gets an unopposed power challenge, and look for Greyjoy Fealty to start swinging for the fences. It can collect a lot of power really fast. So Than's wildfire decision paying off,
Military.
though I do maintain it was an error.
Stealth Regal.
It was a risk that he did not need to take that early, but it is paying off for him because of Tom's play mistake of playing Plaza and not extending his board position.
Count 5 gold.
Instead of expanding his board presence with characters, he opted to play the long game with Plaza.
I'll play Fire and Blood.
A tactical mistake, in my opinion. I think he's being tricky here with his events for no reason.
And I'll just spend 5.
And we'll defend.
Okay. Doing.
So Tom successfully is a little tricky and wins the military challenge, but I think that was a mistake to even care. He should have let it go through.
Alright,
Or just blocked with 1 and lost and killed the Chud and used the event for something else that he could use on the offense, because now Than is pretty wide open. But he doesn't really have the power to do anything about it because he wasted his event on defending a meaningless military challenge.
Pillage.
And he walks into a Euron challenge and gives Than his King's Road back.
Thank you.
I think that's the second mistake.
Right.
You can't feed the beast.
military.
Unopposed.
Okay.
Right, and Drown Men.
Yep.
Push it on.
Yep.
Alright.
Again, Greyjoy Fealty very comfortable with 3 characters on the board, especially if one of them's Asha.
Both 3. Alright. That makes me feel slightly better.
And as soon as Greyjoy gets 7 power on their house, they are in striking distance of winning. If Than can drop Return to the Kraken and maybe hunt for Aeron Damfair to get Balon back, this game is over. I have personally gotten 9 power in a single challenge
Clash of Kings, I will
with Greyjoy Fealty.
go first.
Sure.
He's playing, Than plays Clash of Kings, so he's going to try to get additional power, so obviously look for Than to do the power challenge this phase heavily.
Didn't want to see that.
And best case scenario here for Tom, he got exactly what he was looking for with Danny with his summons. And plenty of economy on board to play her and maybe somebody else as well.
Okay.
Cut to you.
Here you go.
Alright. So you
And regular draw.
Very, very interesting game. Could still go either way in my opinion. I would have liked to see a 2-claim plot out of Than here, to be honest with you.
This is your second job?
2-claim would have allowed him to put a lot more pressure on Tom than just worrying about the power.
Sea Tower reduced 2. Rating Longship. Sure.
Alright, so he gets a rating longship out. 1.0 players know that as the scouting vessel.
2.
That's going to allow him to put a lot of pressure on Tom and essentially dictate the flow. If Than wants to play aggressively, he's going to go for the power challenge, and it looks like he's setting up to do just that by playing Wendemir, who can do stealth. Or if he wants to play the long game, he'll force through the military challenge as well and try to attack Tom's board. But if he goes for the power challenge route playing aggressively and whiffs, this could get very dangerous for him very quickly. You can't sleep on a Targ Lion deck, they're explosive.
Alright, that's game. Good job.
Tom thinking hard though, it's hard to fathom him doing anything other than putting Danny on the board. I mean, that is what you just went for. You played the summons to go get her. This shouldn't even be a decision.
I sympathize that your deck was fine, because I actually think this matchup, I think you're advantaged in.
Do the right thing, Tom.
Maybe. It's tough when you get
All the answers.
Jamie,
yes.
Tywin, Tyrion, the Hound,
Oh, boy, Tom.
And my nemesis,
What are you looking for, buddy?
Yeah.
So I really was happy to see the
You
team
played
more
the
than anything
plot
else,
to
like,
get
I
what you were
wanted
looking for
to get him out of
in
here.
Danny, and then you opted not to play her.
You annihilated my board.
I hope you lose sleep over that decision, sir. I hope you lose sleep.
It's okay.
It's way better.
I'm baffled right now.
Yep.
I'm absolutely stunned. He's playing once again for the long game by dropping
Absolutely.
an economy-based character for what I believe is no reason
Decide what you're doing.
He may have a trick in his hand. He's still got 2 gold left. Maybe he's saving for a put. I just glimpsed a hand's judgment there.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
So maybe that's what he's doing. He's worried that Jamie is going to get put to the sword, so he's saving gold to use that hand's judgment I just saw in defense. But now this is a second time he's opted to play defensively, both by playing the Plaza last turn and not playing Danny this turn, which to me says he is not on his game right now. He's playing in reaction to what Than is doing, and he's playing scared.
Or they can utilize it the most.
You can't play scared in Thrones, because that's... Your opponent is going to walk all over you if you play scared, and I believe Tom is playing scared here. Danny should be on the table. There's no excuse for that.
Power, Stealth Littlefinger.
Alright, so Than playing relatively conservatively here. He knows he can win this challenge because of the raiding longship scouting vessel, and he's got a stealth, so he should still be safe unless Tom has tricks. But he's not swinging for the fences by including Asha, which I think is smart, because Tom does have a standing dragon and a dollar, and he knows Asha would get murdered. And I don't know that Than remembered to get the extra power from his plot there.
Military, Stealth Jamie.
That makes me a little... I wish I had paid more attention, but I don't think he took the extra power from his Clash of Kings.
Did I screw that up? No. Military Stealth Jamie?
Yep.
Is Than going to be able to get a put to the sword off here? He's attacking, stealthing Jamie, military challenge. He looks like he's very nervous about something. He's twitching his hand a lot. So I think he's got something up his sleeve.
Defend?
Okay. Longship, Drogon won't count.
Yep. I see that put.
Reaction.
And condolences respectively.
He's excited.
2 put on Jamie.
Jamie,
Yep.
put to the sword, sir.
Can't do anything about it.
So if you'll notice,
And
Tom played that
then regular
little
play.
weenie reducer for $1 at the end of the phase for no reason really, which now cost him the gold
take things right again.
to cancel that put to the sword with the hand judgment in his hand.
Thank you.
Again, Tom is setting himself up correctly, so he's playing nervously to prevent things like that, but then he makes a silly mistake by not saving the 2 gold to use his hand's judgment. I don't understand that. So he didn't play Danny so that he could save 2 gold, in my opinion, for that hand's judgment for this exact situation, but then decided to play that reducer,
I almost ran it today too.
40% of the field.
which cost him the gold, which prevented him from canceling that put to the sword.
So react, kill the Maester,
Oh yeah, because it's -2. Yep.
and then
That makes me sad.
claim and unopposed.
Yep.
Very interesting turn of events. Small mistakes compounded. Mental mistakes, fatigue mistakes.
Reaction to win in.
It is
and offer.
Ugh.
Tom,
Super the saddest.
And then
Tom,
claim, and then
attaboy,
That was the one you wanted.
coming on strong. So that was huge
You get Tom?
intrigue challenge. If I talked over it for you, I apologize.
It's a great point.
Tom wins the intrigue challenge and not only pulls the reader out of Than's hand, but puts Asha to the tears of bliss. Tremendous swing of events here. Than still in dominating position power-wise, but now all of the momentum is with Tom. If Tom can somehow pull out a Khal Drogo and put additional pressure on Than, who's already in a tight spot, he's got the Plaza out now, his long game plan is paying off.
wins.
That's what I was afraid of.
That is
The
tough.
first.
Yep, you draw 2.
Tom drops a 2-claim plot. Now that means if he attacks the power challenge first, he can kill off that Chud reducer of Than's with the Plaza, and then Than has to eat 2 claims straight to the face. If Tom somehow has Khal Drogo in his hand, this match is going to be devastating for Than. I cannot wait to see what he has. And look at the economy he's got too.
Filled with cards.
Winds of Winter is not a good economy plot, but he has Rose Road, he has a King's Road, he has Illyrio's estate. So he'll be able to afford some things and put a hurting on Than. I can tell you for sure right now, Than is feeling like he just lost this match, even though he has so much power.
Nothing for you for Marshall.
Than is very, very upset and uncomfortable right now at that turn of events. Losing Asha was brutal. And Tom extends his economy lead even further, dropping another estate. Notice how Than's body language changed here. His hand isn't twitching as much. He's leaned back in his chair. Shoulders are slumped. I'm assuming, because I can't see it. But he's much more laid back and calm as opposed to right before he put Jaime to the sword. Because he was excited, and now he's sad. Especially now that duped Daenerys just laughed in his face.
And Dane's got renown in stand once, right?
Not only that, Than, his hand is decimated now.
Put her where she belongs.
Tom adding insult to injury, putting Dany up front, just to make sure Than knows exactly what he's facing. Than taking a long time to decide, but doesn't have that many cards in his hand. So I'm not sure, he can't have that many decision options. So I'm not sure what's taking so long. Unless he's just grieving for what just happened to his board. Big deep breath and a sigh by Than. So close to glory once again, and he can feel it slipping away.
I look at your spots.
I think Than is desperately thinking, trying to figure out in his head how he can turn this around. That is what he's using this time for. He can't, his marshalling can't be that complicated. He doesn't have that much of a hand. And I think he's using this time to just collect his thoughts and sort of regain his composure after what just happened. I'm not sure what's going on here. Maybe I missed something and we're in the challenges phase now. I'm not sure what the delay here is. Come on, boys.
Dennis, do you know if we're the top or the bottom timer?
I believe you're the top.
Okay. You want to
Tom
ask him?
asking me if I'm the top or the bottom
No,
timer.
you're fine. I'm not.
No.
Definitely not saying.
More time.
Tom putting a clock, little subtle gamesmanship there. That's a Dennis move. You're not calling the clock, but you're letting your opponent know that maybe he's taking a little long for his turn.
Jaime should be in the dead pile from what's in the sword.
Oh, yes, he should.
Subtly implying that perhaps Than is playing for a mod win.
Shit.
Just kidding, I don't really think that.
You could have just said it. I'm totally
Trying to
cool.
cause a feud.
Yeah, no,
That was
it's
polite.
good etiquette.
That was a very
to say.
polite. Yep.
Good catch.
Than thinking extra hard, looking for a way out, trying to figure out how he can turn this around.
Yeah. They caught it 5
Yeah.
minutes later.
I don't understand what people try to when they point out mistakes.
No, it's like, yeah, okay.
And
people make
I would like to point out, this magnifies the mistake that I believe Than made earlier.
It's easy when you're not.
Tom knows that Than's Wildfire Assault is gone, and Than knows that Than's Wildfire Assault is gone.
Like it's good for the person.
I think he knows that that was a mistake at this point.
Sure. You know, I'm not. If I
Had he
post
held
like
it
that,
back
I'm
for
never
another
saying
round,
the player. Right? Like,
things play out extremely differently in that marshalling phase because Tom is going to have to hold back because he can't continue to flood knowing that Wildfire is still there. Because he knows a player like Than at this level of play is not going to be running a tournament deck without Wildfire.
A bunch.
I'm sorry, like, it's just...
it's okay. I understand. Hard decision.
I would love to see what was in Than's hand right now to see what this decision could possibly be. He's taken more time than I believe is possible right here, unless he... Okay. So he's going to just go for it and say, fuck it.
right now, 5.
Correct.
He's going to do his best to get as much power as he can and hope to win by the skin of his ass next
so
turn.
One of my guys does not count their power.
Yep.
Because let's say Than can get to 12 power. Let's say he can end this round with 12 power. Between the Renown and his house. He's in striking distance of closing, because Tom can't close this turn. So as bad as this is for Than, he knows he's not going to lose the game on this turn.
Right?
Yeah.
So he's probably smart to try to swing for the fences and get as much power as he can before attempting to close next turn with like a sneak attack or something.
Pounds, not count, just in case you have a superior claim. Yeah, so...
So I win the challenge?
Yep.
So I do this to kill this?
Well, it's a first reaction first on the hound.
Oh, okay. Then I'll do this to kill that. And then I'll react here.
Yep.
And she'll get renowned.
Yeah.
And I'll get insight.
Yep.
Okay, a lot of chain of events there. Interesting to note here, a little rules nuance. You cannot be forced to claim the same character twice, so to claim military challenge is not going to bother Than here. Worst case, he's just losing the dupe that he would have lost anyways.
Bunch of cards in hand. But
So really that plaza meant absolutely nothing to Than. So it's the same outcome.
I have to do power.
That is the right decision by Tom here.
Unopposed and 2 claim and
He's taking that power off of Than's house, taking him effectively out of striking distance of winning next turn unless Than can perfectly top deck something. But Than is going to end this round with 9 power as of right now, 10 if he wins Dom. So still in closing distance for Greyjoy, but much less likely. So it looks horrible for Than here, but if he can get a power icon out with a Renown, I don't know if there's another one in that deck. But if he can somehow get a stealth and get an unopposed power challenge with a 2-claim plot, he can close here. Especially if he can get a great Kraken out somehow. It's a long shot for Than right now, but the Greyjoy Fealty deck can get 5 power in a single challenge. It's not too difficult.
Yep, I'm good. Rebuilding.
Okay. I'll go first.
Yep, so it looks like Than's dropped Rise of the Kraken. He has no other choice here. He knows that if he doesn't close right now, the game's over. I'm just sad. It looks like he only has 1 or 2 cards left in his hand. I think if he's going to do this, he's going to need a Stealth and a Great Kraken all on... Let's see, he does have a resource here, so he's got the King's Road, so he can afford this. If he can get a Stealth power icon out and get a Great Kraken, he can win this. Because he will get an unopposed, he'll get double claim, and a Renown. So actually, he doesn't even need a Stealth. He just needs to be able to force an unopposed power challenge, and he'll win. Because he'll get double unopposed, double claim, and a Renown on Balon. So he doesn't need the Great Kraken here. He needs enough to make a power challenge unopposed, whether that's 2 more raiding longships or another stealth icon.
1, 2. Neil and Pop.
What is he doing?
Drownment for free.
Okay, that's not going to help him, unfortunately.
Sea Tower.
That's not going to help him, unfortunately. Again, the only thing that would help him here is if he had things to make that power challenge unopposed, and now he doesn't. Maybe he thinks he can extend the game for one more round, but in my opinion, this game is over right now. Because Than cannot close, and Tom knows he can push the board presence as much as he wants. So, in my opinion, if Than cannot close on his challenges phase through a mistake of Tom's, then Tom is going to win the game. And probably on this turn. Either by Than conceding, or by him actually getting to 15 power.
Military for 2.
Than is baiting Tom right here, hoping that he will kneel one of his military characters that has a power icon.
So, like, if I defend here, I could let him
He's
come
looking
back
to
and get
weed
the
out
one.
Tom's board so that he can somehow, with a Hail Mary pass, convince Tom to make a mistake so that Than can get an unopposed power challenge. Either way, it's a good move,
2.
because either Tom's going to have to kill 2 characters or kneel enough to defend.
Strength 3, because +1 passive from the
So
long-ship.
he's going to clear out the board a little bit. He's going to give Tom 2 opportunities to make a mistake here.
Defend there.
All right, you are victorious.
All right, I'm...
Taken back. That makes sense.
All right. It looks like unless Tom makes a mistake here, Than is done. But I trust Tom will not make this mistake. He is a newer Thrones player, but I think he can see the victory right here. You can see it in his body language. He's sitting up and forward. His hands are moving excitedly because he senses the victory. He knows all he has to do is defend the power challenge correctly, which means using more than one character, and that he'll win. He doesn't even look worried. So that to me says that he knows he sees the win. He's just being a gentleman and letting Than do his best to think it through. Again, look at Than's hand. Completely slow, barely moving. Than just drawing out the moment. Making sure, double checking everything, rereading all the cards, checking his hand, making sure he didn't miss anything before he concedes. You never want to wonder what if. You want to make sure you've looked at every single thing before you actually extend your hand. Than probably double checking that he can't somehow win with doing an intrigue and a power challenge. Seeing if maybe he can get Tom to make some sort of mistake. But I think he knows it's over, and that's why he's taking so long.
This is intense.
Tom feeling the pressure. He smells a second consecutive trip to a final match. Maybe redemption.
You got me, man.
And there it is.
Yeah.
There's
Than
no
sees
way I
the writing on
can,
the wall.
even if I throw challenges at you in the optimal way for me, there's no way I can prevent you from having 3
All right,
standing
guys.
characters at the
Thank
end.
you very
suck
much
at
for
the,
listening.
I can't
This
play
ends my
anything.
commentary at
I
the
was
table.
also
I hope
setting
you
up
enjoyed it.
a
And
power
please tune
into
in
a
later
Targ
today,
to kill that,
probably,
so.
for my commentary in the
Well
finals.
played, man.
Wow, that was amazing.
That was a
That was
lot of back and forth.
a really good game.
Yeah.
You started at 10.
It was the Asha.
The Asha was huge.
Yeah.
Question. Maybe you don't remember, but there was one turn like 3 or 4 plots ago where you had each of these and were doing a mill claim and you killed that one instead of the chud, and I couldn't figure out why.
That did happen.
I don't know if you
at,
Yeah.
at
the
some
chud.
point you claimed the other big thing, and maybe I was thinking about it
You
a
did that
different
on
way.
purpose,
Remember
was
that?
like a strategic thing.
That might have been a mistake.
I was
Honestly,
wondering
I would
if
have
maybe
to.
I
I would have to.
Do you remember that turn that I was like 16?
Yeah.
Right? You had 17 on the board.
Yep.
So I thought you would throw all of them to prevent it, and then I'd still be able to get the tiers, but I wouldn't have been able to get the claim.
I was more concerned about the. I was honestly a lot more concerned about being able to rush because you already had Jamie out. I didn't have any answers in hand, and if you had Khal Drogo hit the board, I'm on like a 2-turn clock at that point. I needed to have enough power that you needed to be afraid of unopposed.
I was afraid.
Well, no, but that you needed to. I needed to make sure that, like, because you doing that, your whole board was open. I was still able to get 3 unopposed off, and the renown, like with the claim and everything.
Yeah,
that brought your hand low enough too.
I found that.
Like
That was, I honestly, I cannot wait to see the video of this. But when I was like, I forgot I had the reader in my hands, and I was starved for a draw.
Oh yeah.
I forgot Fealty.
That one time, yeah.
And if I had I had left the fishmonger up for like, oh, that way I can make the extra challenge, but I would have had enough strength, even kneeling that out with dropping him instead of that. I would have been able to get at least one more card because I just forgot that he was loyal.
Yeah. That turn that you sent this guy and the Maester at me,
Yeah.
and I was like, shit, did I do that wrong? I thought I played Danny because I planned to play Danny, but I didn't play Danny. So I was like, wait, is that a 1? And I was like, I should have blocked for 2, but I didn't have Danny on the board. And it was,
That's why I was like, why didn't you play Danny? I mean, like,
so
her hand was pretty well protected.
because I had the
point.
tiers. That was the turn I tiers. I couldn't play her and have the money for the tiers.
Yeah. Well, that was what won you the game. So that was a fantastic game, man. I can't believe that was plot 6.